Charlie, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel for the first time if you're new here. My name is Charlie and I'm from Skegness in Lincolnshire in England, but I do live permanently now in Orlando, Florida. I've lived here for 4 years. I've been doing YouTube videos on and off since I was 18, but I always give up, and this time I'm deciding that I want to be very consistent with it. I want to post every week, so I'm back reviving the channel. And I thought it would be a good time to do an introduction video, so I put a question box on my Instagram and you guys sent me in some questions for me and also some for my husband David. He's going to be joining me for some questions, so you can get to know us better and see what you are in for if you choose to subscribe to the channel, which I would really love and appreciate. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. But let's go ahead and get into some questions. This is my husband David. He has joined us for the question part of the video. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hello everyone. As Charlie said, my name is David. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I unfortunately did not grow up there. I moved shortly after I turned 1 to Miami, and then I moved to Orlando when I was 9. So I consider Orlando home, but very excited to answer your questions and get to the nitty gritty.
Okay, someone said, new to your page, how did you meet? How did we meet? So I did a Disney program in 2017 at the Swan and Dolphin, and David was actually my manager. That's how we met. You were my manager. We worked together. And
we worked together.
He fancied me.
She fancied me.
We fancied each other. Okay, somebody said, did he ask you out or was it the other way around?
It was a bit of both, but definitely more on Charlie's end. She pretty much like forced us to go to Olive Garden. So we ended up going to Olive Garden as our first date.
But when they say asked out, do they mean like asked to be girlfriend and boyfriend? Because if that's the case, then you asked me.
Oh yeah, of course. But I think I interpret it as a date.
Okay, well then, yeah, if you're asking who asked, did I ask you? I didn't ask you. I think I just like heavily hinted that we should. Yeah. I mean, you said we should go to Olive Garden, so asking without asking. Somebody asked, are you guys married? Yes, we are married. Yeah, here's our rings. We got married in December of 2021, December 17th, if you would like to remember our anniversary. At Paradise Cove in Orlando, Florida. We were meant to get married in January of 2021, so like 11 months prior, but because of COVID we had to push it back because the borders were closed and my family all still live in England. I'm the only one here, and yeah, it was the best day ever. We did a fun first dance. Do you want to talk about the first dance?
So Charlie's obsessed with Friends. The Ross and Monica dance that they do for the New Year's Eve event, that was actually part of our first dance. And then the other part was, so if you guys know me, I'm a huge Office nerd. I'm actually wearing an Office shirt right now. Employee of the month, Scranton branch, Dunder Mifflin, represent.
And where did you get this shirt from?
City Walk, NBC store, courtesy of my lovely wife. The other dance that we did, part of our first dance, is from The Office. The other part of the dance was, you guys might not be too familiar with it, but it's part of the episode of Threat Level Midnight, and it's the Scarn. So it's a very simple and silly dance, but we had to throw The Office in there some way, somehow, because of me. So
it was really fun. All our guests loved it, and the wedding itself, I mean, we're obviously biased because it was our wedding, but it was the best wedding I've ever been to.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I think I've only been to like 3 weddings, so I don't really have much to compare it to, but it was the best day ever and I miss it. It was so fun. I wish we could do it every day. Do we have kids or do we want kids? And if so, how many? We don't have any right now. Well, we have 2 dogs, which will lead into another question because someone actually asked us about our dogs, which is really sweet. Yeah, we don't have any right now.
Well, and they said, do we want any?
Yeah, that's what was my answer.
Yes, we do want some. If we do have any, we don't think we would raise them in the States. We would definitely want to raise them in Europe. England, but
somewhere in there.
We shall see.
Not for a while yet. I feel too young. I'm not actually too young. I'm 26, David's 30, so we're actually not that young. But I still feel too young, so not for a little while. So the dog question was, I would like to know everything about your dogs.
I'll start with Brady, because Brady is technically my dog, but
I'm the stepmother for Brady.
Yeah, my ex actually bought him for me as a birthday present, and
shout out, because that is the best present, because I love him so much.
So he'll actually be 9 in December, so he's a little old boy, but just love him so much. His name is from Tom Brady, because I am a Patriots fan. Obviously, I know Tom Brady doesn't play for the Patriots anymore, but when he did, that is why. So I will not change his name. His name will stay Brady.
That would be very confusing as well. And what type of dog is Brady?
So not 100% sure, but the people who were selling him said he was half lab, half English setter. So he's a pretty big boy. He's about 98 pounds, but he's like all muscle essentially. So he's just stocky. And then Nala, we rescued her, so we're not too sure what she is either, but we think it's a combination of boxer, French bulldog, and pit bull, some sort of,
something like that.
Mix.
Yeah, so I moved here August 2019. We got Nala in the September. I felt having a dog, obviously Brady is my dog too, but having a dog that I could focus a lot of my time in, because I couldn't work because of the visa requirements at first. So I had 6 months where I couldn't work. So we went to the shelter, and we went a few times before we found Nala, and they had an adoption special. It was $10 for her. She came with her food, all her toys, her vaccinations. They spayed her. And yeah, so we went to the shelter. We found, well, you found her actually. I wasn't even looking at her. She'd come in the day before as a stray, but she did have a collar on her. She was tiny, so skinny, and we loved her. So we put in an adoption application. They had to wait 5 days because she had a collar to make sure that she wasn't somebody's pet. And then we took her home, and it was a bit hard at first because we always call her like a street dog, like the streets were her home. And so to like raise her into a house, it was quite hard. But I love her. She's my little baby. Yeah. So Brady and Nala.
And her name came from The Lion King, of course.
Yes, it did. We'll bring Nala and Brady in so you can see them. Okay, here are our dogs. This is Nala, and this is Brady. We have some little treats for them now to get them to sit. But yeah, here we go. So that's them. Hi, Mama. Say hi. Say hi. Sit. Sit. Good girl. You say hi. Say hi. He loves you. Here he is. Here he is. You're a big boy. But that's our dogs. So let's see what other questions we have. What UK food does David like the most?
Ooh, I'm just gonna have to go with Quavers. They're simple, but so what they call chips, like what we Americans call chips, they call crisps. So they're considered just a bag of crisps, but they're these like cheese puffs that babies are allowed to eat, and they just like melt in your mouth, but they're so good. The flavor is amazing. Every time anyone comes to visit or anytime we go over, like, we need to make sure to have some Quavers. So that's my favorite, I guess, snack. If you want to say food,
yeah, let's do a food option as well.
Man, I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Sunday roast. A Sunday roast is essentially a Thanksgiving dinner, but they do it every Sunday, and you can pick beef, lamb, chicken, and then turkey. They have all these different sides, like some that are similar to Thanksgiving, like stuffing, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Their gravy is way better and different. Mixed veggies. It's honestly really good. Like I said, you can't You can't beat it. I do think their Chinese food is better. You know. With that being said, Puerto Rican Chinese food though is...
I know, I still need to try that. I still haven't been to Puerto Rico. I'm a bad wife.
More on me.
Yeah, that's more on David actually. You should have taken me to Puerto Rico. I love to try the Chinese. I love Chinese food, but I concur that Chinese is better in England, and Indian is better in England than here. What about sausage rolls? I thought you were going to mention them.
Oh yeah. Can't go wrong with a sausage roll either, and you can have that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, getting
dessert.
In from the club, food, I mean, and it's crazy how cheap they are. Over here at most British restaurants, you get one for maybe a little bit bigger, and it's anywhere from like $7 to $9. It's a ripoff.
Yeah, it is. I actually ended up learning to bake them myself because it would save money. Pretty good at it, aren't I?
Yeah. And
Not
you make
too
little
bad.
mini ones.
Yeah, I make
instead.
the little mini ones instead of
So-
the big ones. How did you like working for Disney, and would we ever go back? So I say I did a Disney program. It's actually not Disney. Has Disney in the name and it's on Disney property, but it's actually a Marriott program, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Marriott hotel, and it's different. It's not like the DCP or the CRP, so we don't live in Disney housing. It's slightly different because we're paid and like run by Marriott, and I would work for Marriott again. I wouldn't work in the front office again.
Yeah, I would concur. I don't ever want to work at a front desk at any hotel ever again.
So that's what we did. So, well, for my program, I did 1 month in recreation, like by the pool, doing the games and water slides and stuff like that. And then I did 5 months in guest services, and then 5 months on the front desk, 6 months on the front desk, something like that. And David was at the time you were the front desk manager. One of them. There were so many because the hotel, between the Swan and the Dolphin, 2,300 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big resort.
The top 50 of the world's largest hotels.
And then after I came back permanently, my first job here was back at the Swan and Dolphin in reservations, which I absolutely loved. So it was reservations and sales. I really enjoyed that. And then at that time, you were assistant director of front office at a hotel by SeaWorld. Then COVID happened, and I think that really changed our thoughts on the well, obviously, yeah, it changed everything, but our thoughts on the hospitality industry. People were horrible. People were really horrible, and it just wasn't a very nice experience, was it? I think for David specifically, it really burnt you out, didn't it?
Yeah, most definitely.
Disney? Actually working for Disney? I would work for Disney.
Yeah, I mean, they have great perks and benefits and a lot to offer for sure, but definitely not at any sort of front desk.
Yeah,
and I
well,
would want to
away
be
from the front desk.
Backstage as well, not
guest
facing.
facing.
I saw one that I really enjoyed, so Dream Vacation. I feel like for our honeymoon, we essentially did a dream vacation. I really enjoyed that so much. So for our honeymoon, we went on a Mediterranean cruise, and it went to Italy, Greece, and Turkey. Rome, Sicily, Sea Day, then we went to Santorini, Mykonos. I honestly can't remember the city that we went to in Turkey, and then we ended in Athens. I would absolutely do it again. We honestly didn't do any excursions except for one day, which was Santorini, and we had to do an excursion that day because we were anchored in the middle of the sea. We had to take ferries to where like the buses were.
Yeah,
and then
the boats.
And then the buses took us into Oia?
Ia. I can't remember. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's OIA, but I think it's Ia.
Like the very famous place where you see the blue domes and everything. Kusadasi.
We might be butchering the name of that, but this is the place in Turkey.
Yeah.
Kusadasi.
I feel like I would want to do something similar to that, where I go to multiple countries over a period of time, you know, whether it's 1 week going to 3 countries or 2 weeks going to 5 or 6 countries. I feel like that would be a lot of fun to do. But I have been learning Japanese for 469 days now. I actually need to do it today.
Yeah,
Haven't done it today. But I think I would really enjoy going to Japan, learning more about their culture, their food, and getting to go to Disneyland Tokyo as well. Fun fact,
Universal.
it's the only Disneyland park in the world that actually isn't run and managed by Disney. In 2025, Star Wars Celebration is taking place in Tokyo, so we are planning on going to that and then hopefully doing Disneyland as well while we're there. So very excited, fingers crossed that we can do it. That would be my dream vacation, which if it happens, then off the list and time to add another one. So
I literally don't know. I really want to go to Paris, even though I lived so close to Paris for most of my life. I've never been, and I would really like to go, but I don't know that I don't think it's my dream. I love Greece. Greece is my favorite place in the world, so anytime I get to go back there is a dream. Dream vacation? I'd really like to see orcas in the wild. So wherever you can do, I'm actually pretty sure you can do that in California, but not in California. Somewhere cold, freezing, with like icebergs and polar bears.
maybe Alaska or Iceland or...
I'd like to do an ice plunge.
And since we mentioned California, hope everyone that is following along is safe out there. If you live in California, thinking of you guys. I know very scary times, but hopefully everything will be all right and not too much will take place.
Too much damage. How did you get the courage to tell your husband you liked him while you were working together? I didn't know that whether you liked me, but I knew you were interested to an extent. And I think I was drunk at a party and I got in your car. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I got in his car. He was leaving and I got in his car and I think I said that I liked you, and he said, that's not appropriate, I'm your manager. I have never been so embarrassed in my life because I was like, I misread all the signals and now I'm gonna get in trouble. And I like got out the car and ran away, and I think you like shouted after me, but I didn't stop and I just ran. And then I don't think we spoke for like 3 days. Next time we worked together, after that happened, then you pulled me off the desk and said, you actually took me to the roof, one of the roofs. We would go to the, if you work at Swan Dolphin and you're watching this, well, it doesn't matter because they'd probably never hire us again now. Anyway, but we did used to go to the roof a lot. But yeah, he took me to the roof and he said, I feel the same, but I can't because I'm your manager. It's really inappropriate. But I wasn't saying that like you're being inappropriate, it's just, yeah. So then we just still did it, just in secret. In secret, some people know. I actually had a code name and we had one of our groomsmen tell the story at our wedding because there's only a few people that know it. But I created a persona with my friend of this person that I was dating. So like when I would go and see David, I had an excuse and we named him John, but it was just David the whole time. How did I have the courage? Liquid courage. That was it. Honestly, just do it. The worst that can happen is you get in trouble or they say no and then you'll find somebody else, so don't worry about it. Somebody asked us about our jobs. So I am the director of social media for a travel agency. It ranges day to day, so I don't really have a specific daily schedule. We're the #1 seller for Walt Disney World vacations, and we do Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Alani, and Universal, both in Hollywood and Orlando. So my job is to create content, marketing, attend media events, figure out ways to bring in leads for the agency, provide content that our agents can use and share with their clients, write articles for any breaking news. My job's pretty cool. I get to go to a lot of exciting things.
So I work for an HOA management company, and if you're not familiar with HOAs, they essentially are the liaison between a community and the vendors and upkeep of it. So we make sure that people are following the rules that they need to be following, paying the dues that they need to be paying, and just making sure that everything looks nice and good and professional. I work specifically in the accounting department, more on the accounts receivable side of things. I've created a pretty kick-ass team, excuse my language.
That's fine,
but
we can swear on the channel. Wait, what is your title? Accounting manager?
Accounts receivable manager.
Accounts receivable manager.
Yeah. Someone asked us what our top goals are for the next 3 years. So one of our top goals for the next 3 years is to buy a house. That's something that we're really working towards and want to make happen. Honestly, we're just tired of throwing money away to rent.
Renting is a scam.
Yeah, in terms of like apartments or just renting a house or whatever, the money is going nowhere, unfortunately. So I would much rather buy a home, even if it's a smaller home, but we can still call ours, make our own, and put money towards, something that we're getting a return on investment on.
Yeah,
so
it's just hard and it's expensive.
Since you said the next 3 years, make our way to Japan for Star Wars Celebration. Definitely want to make that happen. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. In terms of professional, I would like to see myself get another promotion at work, hopefully within the next 6 to 8 months. Heading over to England next year.
And why might it happen next year?
We're gonna go see Taylor Swift with one of Charlie's best friends and her boyfriend, which he is my best friend, my English best friend.
Shout out to Terry and Sam,
yes,
if you're watching this. And Sam, stop making fun of me.
Samuel Anthony Lampard.
Why did we need full names? So we're going to see the Eras tour. I actually went in April to Tampa and it was the best night of my life, best show I've ever seen. And I thought I loved Taylor then, but since then, I can't stop talking about her.
I mean, my Spotify is all jacked up because of how much Taylor Swift she listens to.
But you like to listen to her too.
Not on my own.
One time David was listening to the Midnights album by himself, and he texted me saying, I'm listening to Midnights, and I said, wow, you're a Swiftie. And then he said, I'm turning it off. I don't want to be called that. But back to goals. I don't necessarily think I could get a promotion because I'm like the highest on my team, but my team is me. So maybe expand and have someone below me come in to help with the workload, and then that would technically promote me. I would love to continue to see my platforms grow on Instagram and the talk, maybe, and on here. I would love that. I would really like to be invited to a movie premiere when the strikes are over and the writers and actors are being paid what they deserve.
Shout out to them for doing what they're doing,
yeah,
honestly, because
they deserve
it takes a lot for you to stand up for something that you believe in, and for all of them to have come together that the way they have come together, even from the highest and most paid actors and writers to the very low, they're all in this together right now.
And then the final question that we're going to answer, or that I'm going to answer, is what type of videos should we expect from the channel? So honestly, very open to ideas. If you have specific requests that you want to see, if you want to know, like if you want more of us sitting down to chat with you, or if you have more questions, we're happy to do that. I'm thinking our days in the life. I already have one in the works of me bringing you to work with me when I had a couple of media events. I might try and do Vlogmas this year. It's a goal of mine, depending how I can do it. Vlogs of our daily life, vlogs in the theme park. Go to Disney and Universal a lot, so vlogs of that.
Yeah, living life.
Whatever you find interesting. So we're happy to take your feedback. Please let us know in the comments if there's anything specific you'd like to see. I also think we should do some where it's like differences between America and like American and British, like phrases, foods, things like that. We've spoken about doing that on like TikTok and Instagram for a really, really long time, like years, and we still have never done it. So maybe it's something we could do on YouTube.
Anywhere you guys just want us to go visit, or food you want us to try, restaurants,
food.
whatever. I mean, we're huge foodies. Maybe we'll do one of our favorite brewery / gastropub. The drinks are fantastic, but the food is spectacular as well. Service is so good. The playlist, I mean, every time we go, the music is just always on point.
I want their playlist.
Doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter the time of day. Music is always good, it's always popping.
That is another thing that we will be doing on this channel, is sharing things that you can do in Orlando that aren't the theme parks as well, because I get that question a lot, like what is there to do that's not just the theme parks? And there is loads of things to do, so we'll make sure to show you the things that we enjoy most about living in Orlando. But with that being said, that is going to be the end of this video. We have spoken for a very long time. Thank you for getting to know more about us, and for me and David. You have been on the channel before, but not like this. And you might appear more in frequent videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he might become a vlogger. Like his favorite vlogger.
Paige and Mr. Morrow, Nathan.
Mr. Morrow.
Yeah. But yeah, and not to be cliche, but if you haven't already, please like, follow, and subscribe. Till next time.
Yeah,
bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye.